Hello guys, welcome to my channel Learn a Bit. In today's video, we are going to solve another reading exercise or questions on the reading passage. So let us get started. So the passage starts from here. The introductory passage says the following passage discusses theories of how culture and language spread across Europe and Central Asia from modern European and Asian people. Okay, two teams of scientists based on the University of Copenhagen and one at the University of Adelaide present studies about the DNA of Asian Europeans based on 170 skeleton found in countries from Spain to Russia. So this is basically a scientific paper, I guess. So let us continue to know more. Passage 1. Okay, so there are, I think, two passages. Passage 1 is about when modern Eurasia was born. Okay. With the new investigation, the researchers confirmed that the change came about as a result of migration. That's right. The researchers think that this is interesting also because later developments in the Bronze Age are a continuation of new social perception. Okay. Things add up because the migration can also explain the origin of Northern European language families. Both language and genetics have been with us all the way up to the present. Christian Christiansen, professor of archaeology at the University of Gothenburg, Sweden, even thinks that it was crucial event that happened during these few centuries as crucial as colonialization of America. One of the main findings from the study is how these migrations resulted into huge changes to the European gene pool, in particularly conferring a large degree of admixture on the present population. Generally speaking, ancient Europeans from the time post, these migration are much more similar to modern Europeans than those prior to Bronze Age. So this is about migration and genetic study of people of Europe and how they spread to the different part of Asia. Okay, that's good. Mobile warrior people. The rewriting of the genetic map began in the early Bronze Age, about 5,000 years ago, from the steppe in the Caucasus. The Yamana culture migrated past, principally westward into North and Central Europe and to the lesser degree into Western Siberia. Yamunaya was characterized by the new system of family and property. In northern Europe, the Yamunaya mixture with the Stone Age people who inhabited this region and along the way established the corded ware culture, which, generally speaking, resembles present day Europeans living north of the Alps today. Later, about 4,000 years ago, the Sinthas culture evolved in the Caucasus. This culture sophisticated new weapons and chariots were rapidly expanding across Europe. The area east of the Urals and far into Central Asia was colonized around 3,800 years ago by the Androvo culture. The researchers' investigation shows that this culture has a European DNA background during the last part of Bronze Age and at the beginning of the Iron East. East Asian people arrived in the Central Asia. Here it is not genetic admixture we see, but rather replacement of genes. The European genes in the area disappear. A new scale. This new result derived from DNA analysis of skeleton excavated across large area of Europe and Central Asia, thus enabling the crucial glimpses into dynamic of Bronze Age. In addition to the population movement inside, the data also held other surprises. For example, contrary to the research terms expectations, the data revealed that lactose tolerance rose to high frequency in Europeans in comparison to prior belief that it evolved earlier in time. European invention DNA reveals that passes to European invasion. DNA reveals the origin of modern Europeans. What we have found is that in addition to the original European hunter-gatherer and heavy dose of Near Eastern farmer, we can now add a third major population step. Pastorals, these nomads appear to have invaded Central Europe in the previously known wave during early Bronze Age. This event saw the introduction of two very significant new technology to the Western Europe, domestic horses and the wheels. It also reveals the mysterious sources for the Indo-European language. The genetic results have answered a number of contiguous and long-standing questions in Europe history. The first big issue was whether the first farmers in the Europe were hunter-gatherers who learned farming techniques from their neighbors in the southeast Europe, or did they instead come to the Near East where farming was invented. The genetic results are clear. Farming was introduced widely across Europe one or two rapid waves around 8,000 years ago by population from the Near East, effectively and very first skilled migrants. At first, the original gatherer hunter population appears to have retreated to the fringes of Europe, to Britain, Scandinavia, and Finland, but the genetics show that within a few thousand years they have returned, and significant amount of hunter-gatherer genomic DNA was mixed in with the farmers 7,000 to 5,000 years ago across many parts of the Europe, wheeling across Europe. But there was still a major outstanding mystery. Apart from these two groups, a genomic signal clearly showed that the third previously unsuspected large contribution has been made sometimes before the Iron Age and around 2000 years ago, but by whom? We have finally been able to identify the mystery culprit using a clever new system invented by our colleagues at Harvard University. Instead of sequencing the entire genome from a very small number of well preserved skeletons, we analyzed 400,000 small genetic markers across the genome. This made it possible to rapidly survey large number of skeletons from all across Europe and Eurasia. This process revealed that the solution to the mystery. Our survey showed that the skeleton of the Yamana, a sculpture from the Russia, Ukraine, grassland north of Black Sea, buried into the large mounds known as kurgans, turned out to be genetic source we were missing. Okay, so that was the passage all about migration, DNA changes, and European culture. So let us start with the questions. The first question says, how do the passages illustrate the contributions of DNA evidence to scientific inquiry? Okay, so option A is both provide example of how DNA evidence enables scientists to fill in gaps in their knowledge about human migration. That's the thing. Option B is both describe how DNA analysis is used in scientific investigation. That's true. The passage implies that DNA evidence can solve evolutionary questions. Okay. The passage shows how scientists solved the mystery of DNA. I think the best option for this answer is option A, because they are trying to fill their gaps of in their knowledge. They have some knowledge about migration and how people migrated from here and there. As you can see in the last paragraph also, that there was a mystery about some people who just migrated from somewhere, and this mystery are solved in this scientific inquiry. So this should be the best answer for this question. Option A. Okay, let us see the description. Both passages illustrate how DNA has been used to answer questions about human migration. Okay, patterns. Question that has been unresolved before the ability to use DNA as a evidence of such studies. Choices Choice A. Neither passage gives details about actual scientific methodology as both are focused on result. Yeah, that's true. No passages is talking about scientific method that they have used to know the answers, but they are just stating the result that this has happened. Okay, so answer A is correct. Question number two is, which line from the text supports the idea that migration of human population can be tracked through DNA testing? Okay. With the new investigation, the researchers confirmed that the changes came about as a result of migration. Okay. Genetically speaking, ancient Europe from the time of post of this migration are much more similar to modern Europeans than the prior of Bronze Age. These nomads appear to have invaded Central Europe in the previously known wave during early Bronze Age. And option D is, this event saw the introduction of two very significant new technologies into Western Europe, domestic horse and wheel. It also reveals the mysterious source of Indo-European language. Okay, so the question was, which line in the text support the idea that migration of human population can be tracked through DNA testing? DNA testing and migration. So I think in option A, there is no there is nothing about genetic. Okay, there is something about as a result of migration, but they are talking about just migration and not genetics. In the line 2, they are talking about genetic as well as migration. So this should be a correct answer. Okay, because this is also giving the scientific support that generally speaking Asian to Europeans from the time post this migration are much more similar to. So genetically, this line has said genetically on the basis of genes and this migration, and they are talking about migration. So it should be the correct answer. Okay, let us see the description. Uh, This type of question require you to find specific tests to support an answer to a question. Okay. Although the concept given that DNA testing was used to track population migration that can be found in both passages, you only need to review the specific line given in the answer choices to find the correct answer. So we have to see just the lines specifically given in the answers or options, and then we have to give the best answer. Okay. Choices C and D are not directly related to DNA evidence. Choice A confirms the idea of migration, but the text does not refer to DNA as the process that track the migration. Okay, so option A, there is no DNA terms or genetic terms, so that's not the answer. Just B refers to the genetic evidence, another term of DNA which shows similarity between ancient and modern Europeans. The evidence illustrates that scientists that have been tracking their migration patterns. The correct answer is B. Okay. Third question is, what is best description of two passages? So option A is, they show conflicting claims about the migration. This is not the case. They are not conflicting anything. They are supporting each other. So they are not conflicting in nature. Option B is, they describe different scientific methodology. Not The scientific methods are not illustrated or described in these passages, so this is not the correct answer. They provide supplementary information. Yeah, they are supplement to each other, so they provide supplementary information. So this is the correct option, and they are not written with a different perspective. So option D is also incorrect. When reading, let us just see the description. When reading pair passage, compare the passage as you read. This question asks you to compare the information. On your first reading, you probably notice that they do not contradict one another. Yeah, true. Nor they do show different point of view. True. Both passages describe scientific studies and what scientists were able to learn from them, and both describe using DNA as a methodology. Yeah. So you can eliminate choice B. But the second passage adds on the information to the first, making them supplements choice C to one another. The correct answer is C. That's true. The question 4 is based on the information in the two passages. Which of the following statements could be made about scientific inquiry? Option A is DNA evidence showed why many Europeans are lactose intolerant. No, that's not the main focus of the passage. So this is not the correct answer. Researchers can provide historical information. Yeah, that's true, but this is a general statement. Evidence showed that pastoralists introduced horses and wheels to the West Europe. Yeah, that's the true, but this is not a scientific inquiry based option. So option D is scientific investigation can provide evidence about human history not obtained through other means. So I think option D is talking about scientific investigation and human history, or evidence of human history. So this can be the correct answer. Uh, Let us see the description. Like the preceding question, this one asks you to compare the two passages, except this question look at a topic not directly discussed in the passage but one that is implicit within it. The nature of scientific inquiry. So while choices A and C are true, neither one answer the question. Choice B is also true, but it doesn't address the nature of scientific investigation. It is simply a general statement that could apply to many texts. Choice D, however, states a fact about scientific inquiry that can be gleaned from the text. Both passages describe how scientists were able to use DNA data to answer questions they were unable to address before the use of DNA testing was available. The correct answer is D. So, as I said, so that's all for today. That was the passage number 2. I hope you learned something new. All the best for your exams, and keep watching for more such videos. Just go to our channel and subscribe. Okay, so hope you have a good day. Thank you.